2021.
2021 is kind of a revival in a lot of ways for me, but we'll go through. Hey, tell me what's bankable about this year. Spider-Man No Way Home, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Venom Let There Be Carnage, Black Widow, Fast and the Furious 9, or F9 The Fast Saga, Eternals, No Time to Die, Quiet Place 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Free Guy, Jungle Cruise, Godzilla vs. Kong, Dune Part 1, Halloween Kills, and Encanto. You tell me what's making movies go that year.
That's a real downer. It sucks. There was 2 original movies. That's it. Free Guy and
It's Free Guy and Encanto. That's it. Everything else is a franchise movie. I mean, I guess like Ghostbusters Afterlife is a pretty big departure.
It's not an original movie.
It's not
based on something.
No, I know. I'm not. I was about to say I'm pulling at strings to try to make that argument. I'm not even making an argument. I'm just saying. I guess. Yeah, Jungle Cruise is an original movie. It's based off of a Disney ride, but it's an original.
Based on something.
I know, but based off an amusement park ride is not the same as based off a fucking book or TV show or something.
I guess, yeah. I've never been on the Jungle Cruise ride.
Exactly, so I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all properties and
2021.
But
the ceremony, but we're not going to talk about it at all. But obviously, the slap matter. Everyone's talked about it to death.
Oh Jesus Christ! I was about to say, what a fucking fool. That was about it. Just like, what a way to tarnish your reputation. Just fucking dumb.
Best Picture now is set at 10 for good. Will they change the rules again? I should say.
Have they changed the rules since, or do you just know they're about to change the rules?
They will change their rules, I'm sure, in the future years.
Oh, God.
So, at some point, they'll change it again.
I think it was. I thought it was fine when they made it up to 10.
Yeah, well, guess what? They'll do it in the future, I'm sure. At some point, they will. They always change their rules. Multiple categories were presented before the telecast began. So, what you talked about was a big slap in the face. Everyone was in an uproar.
The Oscars are a television product. People don't want to sit through 3 hours of fucking shit.
Yeah, but one of the problems was Jessica Chastain, who won Best Actress that year. She was like super pissed off about it and really, really vocal about it because makeup and hairstyling was announced before the telecast, and she like completely skipped the red carpet and stuff. To go inside to see if they won, and they did. So like, Oscars didn't like that she skipped the red carpet and that. But it's like, hey, that was your own fucking fault. You did it.
I think about this.
So, but like, okay, so all the shorts were announced beforehand. Film editing, makeup, score, production design, and sound. Those were the ones.
I don't understand score because that's an opportunity to liven up a television show.
I don't understand those categories ones, but
so here's what I have to say. You've said this in the past, and even I'm like, when I'm trying to make something out of it, I always come back to this, where this is just the Oscars was made by producers to make more money for their movies. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I understand.
It's a marketing tool.
I understand that this has become, in the movie world, this is the crowning. This is your Super Bowl. If you're an actor, this is your Super Bowl.
Well, originally the Academy was in place to be a bargaining thing. There was no guilds originally. So the Academy was created. And then the guilds were created after the Academy. So then the Academy pretty much lost all its
real tangible worth besides awards.
Yeah, pretty much. So at one point, I read this in the Frank Capra autobiography. Academy was down to like 30 members at one point when Frank Capra was president. But then he was like, okay, what the fuck do we do? So then he talks about like, okay, we really need to just put a prestige on like the awards and what they mean. So yeah, it becomes a marketing tool.
That's all it is, and I mean this with all due respect. Because clearly, you've seen me. I get passionate about the technical categories. Far more, I have more opinions on the technical categories most of the time than I do the big six, right?
That's the problem is people, normal people don't.
And that's what I was about to say. Normal people do not care. People need to realize in that industry, specifically, the Oscars is not a prestigious event. It's a television show.
Yep.
This is part of the era, like, people treat the Oscars like the Super Bowl. That's what it is. People who don't give a flying fuck about football come together and enjoy the Super Bowl because it's an event to be spent with your chosen friends, family, whatever the case may be. To me, the Super Bowl is the top 5 day of the year every year because I'm surrounded by people I love, celebrating something that I absolutely adore. That's it. And Oscars watch parties, I think I've done one before where I was at somebody's house to do it. I need to host more because I can do more. But that's what it is. It's a television event and it's an excuse for people to get together. It's not this thing where it's not a sporting event where people can get invested. My team. The only thing they get invested about is, hey, my team got fucking robbed because all these movies that no one cares about meaning general audience, not nobody in general.
Yeah, for normal people, it's hard to understand most of the category. Which is why I always say, like, they don't do a good enough job explaining what those categories actually mean.
What do they do? Show a clip of it. Here's my other thing.
Exactly.
What I
That's
don't
my
understand
problem with it.
is their social media game. I don't understand either because it's almost non-existent to me. I don't know. What I don't understand is
Well, they try, but they don't. Yeah, they don't success for.
what I don't understand is put out an hour-long documentary. Make it fun. Prior to the
That's the
Oscars.
problem. They don't. They take themselves too serious.
Tell people what is sound. What are we looking for in sound? This is what we as the sound do. I learned so much about visual effects from one fucking documentary series. Where now I believe I understand it 1,000 times better than I did before. Before it was just, can it make me believe? That's it. And can it look good?
Yeah.
And now I understand how much goes into that by that ILM documentary. Nobody gives a flying fuck about half these categories. And you need to make them care. So you can't be Mr. Prestigious, nose up, judging everybody. How could they not get it? And you don't tell them. And you don't make them understand.
That's my problem is, like, I'd rather them cut down is, even though, you know, it's a little bit bad. People will say it's, like, kind of mean to do that, but, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'd rather they're being presented an award. That's that's what they're getting, the award.
It's odd how much people like to watch speeches. It
And
kind of
it's
is. It's odd how much people just want to see those moments because people don't actually care. General audience members
exactly.
don't care.
People don't care about this except, like, the huge stars.
Right.
That's the thing.
And that's the thing is I like when people get their moment. I'm happy for them. You know, I'm legitimately happy to see technical categories when they get their just due. It's just one of those where people need to remember this is a fucking television show. It's not that special to a general audience people.
I would rather they present the award with a greater understanding of what the actual award is for,
Yeah.
then then they can give their speeches back in like the actual press,
Yeah.
or the press interviews them. I'd rather that happen. They're still giving their speech and they're still getting it out there, but it's just like I don't think people care that much. It's just like
I have no issue if it was 60 seconds. You get 60 seconds. That's what a
yeah,
speech is supposed to be. You even take a fucking speech class. A good speech teacher will tell you you get 45 to 90 seconds. If you go 2 minutes, it better be the best fucking speech you ever heard.
yeah.
And some of these people that just ramble on and on, and I get it. It's an overwhelming thing. It's a huge achievement. I'm not trying to take their emotions away from them.
Well, a lot of it just becomes a long thank you, which is the problem. And that's a problem. Other things about the ceremony. Coda becomes the first streaming Best Picture, even though it only had 3 nominations total. Pretty incredible. And that's
What
actually
was the
the
movie?
first Coda.
Coda?
So that's the first movie to do that in actually I don't know how many years that would be. I'm trying to do the math, but since 1932. And then Ariana DeBose's win for Best Supporting Actress marks the 3rd time in history that 2 people have played the same role and won Oscars for playing one role.
Huh.
So Rita Moreno and her in West Side Story played the same character. And then De Niro and Brando played Joe Corleone.
No.
And then Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix both played the Joker. So,
So odd to think that the Joker is part of that category.
yeah. Yeah, so 3 times duos have won. And then I should have counted this. I also marked this down as a note. I should have counted the amount of times another Bond song won. Billie Eilish wins for another Bond song,
Hey,
but
No Time to Die is a fucking great song.
yeah, I should have counted the total of Bond songs that won. Sure, it's
Skyfall.
Sam Smith won, Billie Eilish wins.
Adele wins. Billie Eilish wins.
Live and Let Die, I'm sure won.
I think The Spy Who Loved Me actually may have won. I'm going to look it up right now, actually. Take us into some technical stuff.
Okay, so technical stuff, I only have a couple. Adapted screenplay, I have Drive My Car, which is a Korean film, which that's like a dark
Wow.
horse for me. It's the movie that I put off watching until like 3 months ago. I had not seen it, and I was like kind of dreading that movie. But then I finally watched it. And I was like, damn, I kind of love this movie. I actually said I would have picked that over Coda, and then cinematography nominated for The Green Knight, which is actually a movie I know you've seen.
Huh. Admittedly, I missed part of what you were saying. Only 3 Bond songs have won the Academy Award, and they are all modern ones with Daniel Craig.
Okay, so Skyfall, Writings on the Wall, and
And No
Billie
Time to
Eilish.
Die. And I believe that For Your Eyes Only from 1981 was the last one to get nominated prior to
Okay.
Skyfall. Which is so crazy
I'm
to
just
think, like,
surprised Live and Let Die.
Yeah, Live and Let Die, Spy Who Loved Me is another one. Nobody Does It Better. And A View to a Kill is a fucking banger. And I will say, even though I don't think it's Oscar worthy, Die Another Day, the Madonna song, became like a huge dance hit as well. Bond songs are bangers. That's just what they do. It's what they are.
There's quite a few good ones,
But
I'm surprised they're not nominated.
admittedly, if we ever went to 1985, unless there's just like some... Oh, wait, no, because I'd have to go with Huey Lewis and the News in that one. But if we went to... into the 85 Oscars, I'd be fighting hard for View to a Kill by Duran Duran because that's a fucking banger. I fucking love that song.
Trying to think of what actually won, and I think it is The Power of Love.
Should be The Power of Love.
Let me look. I can figure it out and like loop in.
So
Oh nope. Hey, You Say Me by Lionel Richie.
that's wrong. I don't even know the song, but that's wrong.
Power of Love was not.
Should have won. All right, so I have a couple things here. Animated feature, I have no changes, but that is a stacked category. It's a lot of good movies in that category. It's Encanto, Luca, The Millers vs. the Machines, which is an underrated movie. I really appreciate that. There's a fourth one in there that I really thought was pretty good.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
I think Raya and the Last Dragon is actually pretty damn good. It was a COVID casualty. It came out like weirdly pandemic times, and just it went to die. That's a movie that would have made way more money a year later had they just waited.
And then the last one is Flea.
That's the only one I have not seen of the animated category, but the whole thing's stacked.
And Flea is actually a documentary as well. I know that.
Huh. But yeah, that category's stacked. Costume design, Cruella wins. Snaps for that. Cruella's actually, I'm a big fan of Cruella. I actually really enjoy it quite a bit just because of the punk rock inclusions in that movie. And costume design is perfect for that film. I think that's, if you're going to make a movie about fashion, that's the way to do it. Have some fun with it, actually make it enjoyable.
Sure. I would agree with that, sure.
I can't stand the Devil Wears Prada. Let's make it more than this. It's like...
Well, that's probably more typical of what fashion act is, but...
Right, whereas if you want to get people invested and actually give a fuck, Cruella, I think, is the way to do it. It's like, fashion is a way to tell a story, and we make it something really cool and integral to the plot, but at the same time, it's more of a personal journey. And I know people would be like, didn't you just describe Devil Wears Prada? I'm like, no, that's just drama. That's just drama in the fashion world. It's not the same thing. Only other ones that I could see, I have no changes to the big six, but I would have liked to see... Like, I saw a nom for cinematography for Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. I think a lot of the way they shoot some of the slow motion action sequences and things of that nature quite interesting.
It's got too much of that fake blue screen environment stuff for...
I also could see a nom, or just a shout out for adapted screenplay for Shang-Chi because of this. That is a super, super heartfelt family drama in a superhero movie, and that character has had so little fuck all to do, and to make it that level of connectable to people, or connections with people, is amazing to think about. This is a 70s, hey, Kung Fu's hot, what if we just make a character that's a Kung Fu master? That's literally what Shang-Chi is, and to adapt it into this big, Eastern Asian influenced film and make it an epic of that nature is incredibly impressive to me.
Jumping into bigger categories.
I got one more, actually.
Actually, okay.
And a little shout out for visual effects to Jungle Cruise. The visual effects in Jungle Cruise are pretty damn good. I don't think it deserves a win, but nice little...
I've not seen it.
Jungle Cruise is a fun movie. I think it's...
No interest.
I think Jungle Cruise is a great popcorn movie with endearing characters. That's what I think it is, and I don't think enough movies are made like Jungle Cruise. It's just like, let's just have fun. Who fucking cares? Let's go have some fun.
Yeah. So, director Jane Campion wins for The Power of the Dog. She had previously been nominated in 93, so she becomes the second win. I think so. Will Smith wins after slapping for King Richard. Jessica Chastain wins for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Troy Kotzer wins for Coda, the second deaf person to win an Oscar. Ariana DeBose wins for West Side Story. I'll just say I have no problems with any of them.
I haven't, outside of King Richard, I don't think I've seen a single one of those movies. I avoided West Side Story because I wasn't interested in the original, so I didn't need to see the remake.
I like both versions of those. Actually, I was very cautious about Spielberg making a remake of it because I was like, why are you doing that? Because I really do like the original quite a bit. But I was like, why are you doing this, Spielberg? Why are we doing a remake? But I actually was like pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, it's just that was just one of those that I got. I understand why he's doing the things he's doing. I just find it hilarious how older people, as people age, they get into this thing. It seems with movies where they go away from really fun, popular movies to we're gonna make these personal dramas, or we're gonna make this, or we're
Yeah.
gonna make
Well,
that.
that is where he's at this point,
And I just wish you
which
would
is a shame.
just make a fucking popcorn food.
I mean,
I love
trust
Ready
me.
Player One, and I adore I have it gets a 15% boost because it's Steven Spielberg just making a fun movie again.
Yeah. I mean, I would trust me. I would rather him just make an original movie than West Side Story. Like, I would take an original movie any day before a remake
Yeah, it's
from
just
Spielberg.
I
So
I don't know, just the amount of like directors and creatives that kind of turn into this. I make dramas now, and it's like it's what makes they're always like, no, I love all these movies, and I believe them. I'm not saying that they hate
yeah, I mean,
blockbusters type movies or anything else, but
it
it's
could
one of
just be that it could just be it. Maybe he is at the point where he just can't get. Because when you think of like his popcorn movies, how
yeah
they're so like practically filmed,
yeah.
maybe he just can't get stuff like that made anymore.
I don't know.
It could be part of it.
I just I want one more.
I would love to see like him go back to like a Raiders style, like but like actually go to locations and film.
Yeah.
Like don't do anything on a green
Well,
screen.
the other thing is, I remember he didn't do Dial of Destiny, and it felt like he was like, I'm kind of done with this, and it was just like, Steven, I need you, I need you here, bud, I need you,
Yeah.
and
No.
it's strange because that movie lacks a little bit of that Spielberg. Just-
You think? The movie
But
fucking blows.
even here's the thing: Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, as dumb as it is in parts, it still has a bit of that like,
Oh
Spielberg.
yeah,
There's some
I
fun
think
here.
that movie's fine. It's fine. Not good, but it's fine.
I think that movie gets shit on too much, but the moments that it gets shit on for are worthy of getting shit on a lot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Um, Coda wins Best Picture, which was kind of surprise.
Have they
Other
changed the
nominee
rules for Best Picture that it has to be released in a theater or a certain amount of theaters, or does that still exist?
still exists.
That's what I
Has to
thought.
be has to be released in a New York and LA market at some point.
That's it?
Yes,
I thought it had to be like a certain amount of screens that had to show it.
I think so. As far as I'm aware, it's just has released in the LA and New York market.
Okay, so when we make a movie, we're gonna rent out one theater in New York and one
It
theater
might
in
be like
LA, and we're getting ourselves nominated for a
it
Best
might
Picture.
be like a particular number of screens in that market.
Nope.
I know it
All I heard is New York and LA. We're just gonna
I know
rent the
it has to
cheapest
be.
theater that we
I know it
can to do
has.
this.
Yeah, I know it has to be those two. We have to.
Such an arbitrary, stupid rule. Then, if it's just
Yeah,
those two markets.
yeah.
Also,
But
no Chicago though. Fuck you. Chicago's better than both those cities. Having
um,
been in all three and spent time in all three, I can tell you, Chicago's a way better city than both those other fucking cities.
other nominee: Licorice Pizza, Belfast, Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Drive My Car, Power of the Dog, Dune, West Side Story.
King Richard's not that good.
I I actually think a lot of these movies are pretty underwhelming. Like Coda is fine. Licorice Pizza, I don't really love all that much, considering it's Paul Thomas Anderson. Belfast, I didn't really love. Nightmare Alley, I didn't love, considering it's Guillermo del Toro. Don't Look Up was like so ham fisted. that it was annoying.
Very preachy in the wrong
Yeah,
ways. I loved it, but then I'd also just I loved it in the moment because I was like, yeah, we're punching the right people. And then I also just
yeah,
went, this is pretty ham-handed, though.
yeah.
I'm not gonna go back
Drive
and
my
I'm not gonna go back and watch Don't Look Up again. Like
exactly.
I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, Drive My Car. I really did love. That's the Korean film. Power of the Dog. I didn't really love, but I had actually rewatched that because I think I just caught that on the wrong day. I'd actually would switch out Dune. I would have picked that for Best Picture.
Dune.
I actually really love Dune.
So I was polar opposite. I don't like Dune.
Yeah, I was not expecting to love Dune, and
There's
I actually
something about
really
there's something about Dune Part 1 specifically that feels so masturbatory self-important to me that I just don't like. I just go, oh, we're so important. Look at the spectacle. Look at that. I'm like, oh, you're just so important. You're so cool. I don't know what it is about it, but that movie just rubs me the wrong fucking way. Also, it does not help. I do not buy Timothy Chalamet as a fucking action star, and the whole thing's supposed to be building like his story about how he becomes this like warrior king, and I'm like, fuck off. You're a great actor,
he doesn't
Timothy, but come on.
he doesn't do any fighting really in it, so that's why I don't mind it.
I know. It's just so. It's one of those where I just went, really.
Like, I think he only fights in it like twice.
I know.
Just that.
It's just one of those. That I'm like, I'm supposed to buy this.
Yeah.
Like
And then, like I
I
said,
buy Jason Momoa and Josh Brolin in their fighting
yeah,
roles. I buy them. Dave
yeah,
Bautista. I buy
yeah,
that.
great supporting cast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's what it is. Like, there's a bunch of people I like in that movie, including Timothy Chalamet, and I just kind of go, who fucking cares? Like, who cares?
Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh. Anytime I can see Rebecca Ferguson, I'm happy. I think she's
Yeah.
so fucking talented. I adore Rebecca Ferguson. Oh god. Yeah,
So
I got no beef with
Dune
anyone.
would probably be my favorite movie of the year too.
My favorite would be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think it's the best Marvel movie ever made. I think that's a wildly underrated movie. I think it's great.
The only thing that I other notes on 2021 were that Being the Ricardos sucked ass.
Huh?
Did you see that movie?
What?
The Ricardos.
No.
It was like that one about like I Love Lucy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see
Nicole
it.
Kidman. Yeah. Like,
Javier
everyone was like,
Bardem.
oh, yeah. It was like it had so much hype going into it, and it was awful. Like,
Another one on near that list. Eternals. What a downfall for Chloe Zhao. To go from I just won an Oscar to I'm directing Eternals, and
I never saw that.
I think Eternals is fine, but they were marketing it as this is Marvel's not only next big thing, but this is Marvel's masterpiece to where no one will be able to deny Marvel makes these big quality epics.
I think I only saw Spider-Man: No Way Home. I think that's the only thing I've seen after.
So, you haven't seen
Like the
Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi's a good movie.
wait, yeah, I have seen. I've seen parts of that.
Shang-Chi's good.
Most of it, at least.
I adore Shang-Chi. I think No Way Home is really fun the first time you watch it with people, and after that, you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I never need to see that movie.
It was a great theater experience. That was a movie, but I saw this online. Spider-Man No Way Home was designed to be in the theater because of how many times there's legitimate pauses for cheers in the movie where they know people are going to cheer and then it stops.
Yeah,
And the movie just stops for a couple seconds, essentially. Because they're like, they're going to cheer here. And they're going to cheer here. I was like, you can't choreograph a movie like choreographing a wrestling entrance. It doesn't work.
yeah,
It works
yeah,
once.
that's true.
It works once. It doesn't work all the time. You know, like, you can't. A movie is not supposed to be The Rock's entrance where they're like, okay, once he gets to the corner, he's going to raise his arm, All the people are going to take their pictures. They're all going to cheer, and then he's going to get the mic. Can't do that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that.
No Way Home does that all the fucking time. But yeah, Eternals, what a downfall for her. Because they, like, kind of, it took a lot of people back in their career. Unfairly, I think, because I think that movie's fine. I think that movie defines the word fine. And if you can get into it, it's kind of enjoyable. But it was presented as such this, like, big fucking deal that everyone's like, that movie sucks. It's the worst movie ever. Because I recently watched it. I recently rewatched it, I want to say, like, 3-4 months ago with a friend. And we were both talking, like, Marvel, and it's like, I want to rewatch Eternals. I was like, you know what, I'll do it with you. Sure, let's do this. And I went, this movie's not nearly as bad as I remember it being. But it's not that fun or important. Which is a shame, because it's a great comic book property as well. Also, No Time to Die, great movie. Love No Time to Die.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love 2021 as a whole. And I don't understand why, because a lot of the movies I'm seeing for 2021, I'm not, like, wowed by, but I enjoyed No Way Home. I adore Shang-Chi. Black Widow's meh. Eternals is meh, but I love No Time to Die. Encanto's great. I had fun with Godzilla vs. Kong, even though it's just two monsters beating the shit out of each other. I had fun with that. Ghostbusters Afterlife I like a lot. I was like, okay, it's a good return to the movies. I'll take it. Your face says otherwise.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to 2022.
2022, definitely better.